tickets 1890 sold?
I don't know. I think it's in the low thousands. I think it's over 3,000, but I don't know. I know they opened it up today. I don't know what they finished up today. Say it again. 5? They're 3,500. 3,500. Yeah.
What's the practice?
Just a normal, I mean, for us, it's a normal practice, right? So we might try to end with something fun at the end, But we'll have little competitive periods. But I think it's also important that even just our drills, indie, all that stuff, one-on-ones, we do that with people watching. I think it's great for our fans to see. Everyone sees the final product. I want them to see the moving parts and all the things that happen. So we'll try to, in the stadium, we're a little restricted with space, so it won't be quite as many moving parts as normal. And then we'll finish with some third down, and then both the kickers will kick tonight. So, a chance to see them both as first-timers, kicking in front of the crowd. So it'll be really good for them.
And Matt, I know you've talked about it before, but since Troy has gone more into the desire to put grass in the stadium eventually, how do you feel about the direction that's headed, and where you're going with your outdoor practice fields too after this season?
Well, the outdoor practice fields, they had to redo a couple things on them like you have to do every year, and it's been a tremendous, I think, partnership between East Campus and, the turfgrass science people that are there, and the College of Agriculture, and the people that are here. And so we have, really, really nice fields. There'll be a time probably later in the year, Courtney just got here, and he's talked about, hey, later in the year, you have to replace and sod out the grass, to play late into the year. I mean, we want to play 7 months of football, so. I feel, I think after field turf is great. There's a place for it. I think when you can be on grass, just the pounding and all that repetitive day after day is better. But we'll play on either one, and when they first put artificial turf in here, it was very cutting edge, right? Because it was really hard to grow grass in this region of the country and have it, now grass strains and all the things that you can do and lamps and, it's just a whole other level. So, that's certainly something I'm in favor for, but of the things I'm worried about in my life right now is whether we can pick up third down blitzes, so that's something that, Troy's kind of spearheading. But, if we can do it, great. And if not, certainly we're an agricultural college. So I think when you have a turf grass science department as esteemed as ours is, having grass just, brings more people to the university as well.
Coach, this event tonight, what does it mean that the administration, the collective, the fan base can all come together to make something like this happen?
Yeah, I think I'm no stranger to these types of things. I was looking on Twitter tonight, and the Eagles, they just had 50,000 people at their practice. It's a little feels a little. I think they charge like $20 for it, or 20 something like that. It goes to charity. In college now, this is the new normal. An article came out the other day about Alabama, Ohio State, and us all doing this. And to me, on our end, it's a good faith gesture, right? 1890 has done so much, and they've stepped up so much. And the fans and the donors and the people who give to 1890 have stepped up so much that you understand football coaches. You guys certainly understand me. I don't want anybody watching my practices, but I can't sit there and ask and not give back. So to me, I hope everyone has a good time tonight, right? And then I hope the 3,500 people that come tonight turns into 10,000 next year, turns into 20. I also know there's a lot of people who kids who maybe can't get a ticket to a game and paying $25 and coming out and watching the guys practice. I mean, this will be a lot of football tonight. And it might not all be like the most exciting things in the world, but if you like football, you're going to get a lot of stuff there. And so you guys are going to have stuff to talk about on all your podcasts for like days. I mean, seriously, because it takes me hours to watch all the tape, right? Like, hey, we got to go watch that punt one-on-one period. Hey, we have to go watch that. So it's just, to me, it's a lot of football. And you have a chance, in my mind, to see the guys that are just beginning their journey here, or they're kind of down the line on the depth chart in people's minds. You can kind of see what they do, and I'm anxious to see that. So I hope people have fun. I hope people, get some ready for August 31st, and I hope we continue to grow it.
I know you're just a few practices in, but what are some early impressions of how guys have picked up from the summer and the spring?
Yeah, I mean, we're light years ahead of where we were in the spring. I mean, they've done such a good job. I mean, Corey and his staff, Mitch, Chris Peduzzi, all the off-the-field staff, but the credit has to go to the players. And there was a day, I came back in July, before media days, and I want to leave the guys alone. So I kind of went upstairs to the cardio deck, and I'm just doing like the old man walk. And I'm looking outside at the O-line drills and the D-line drills, and you would have thought the coaches were out there, but it's just the older guys coaching them. So I think it's a real testament to the players and where they are. So I'm really pleased with where we are after 4 days. We have a long way to go, but we're night and day ahead of where we were this time last year. I can say that much.
Is there an extra level of evaluation that can come out tonight when you are practicing in front of a crowd and see how some guys respond to that?
Yeah, probably evaluation, but even more so teaching. I had a really good young player the other day, and I said, how'd that period go? He said, I learned. He said, it's my first time doing it, I learned. For me, part of the teaching process of getting, a young team, we have some older veteran leadership, but we have some young players, getting them to understand that, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, they don't change their shot. They don't think about their shot, and they don't change their shot in the final seconds. They do what they do. So with thousands of people out there, we've got to go do what we do. And so if some people don't do that, it's not like we push them down. We're just going to go back and teach them. And training camp's a period of highs and lows, man. Some days you're really tight. Some days you're beat up, but, you go out there anyway. So we look at the aggregate, and really next Saturday, the scrimmage will be probably really important day. But I do think having the crowd and seeing where we are in that regard will be awesome. If someone scores a touchdown and, does the Rod Tidwell and takes off their pads and starts dancing, I'm going to be upset. So hopefully we can stay in the moment. Yeah, Jalen Lloyd will be out tonight, kind of re-aggravated, some tightness, nothing long-term that we expect. I'm going to probably hold Tommy Hill out of tonight, because he dealt with something in the summer, so it's just kind of load management for him, just getting him back. You might see a fist fight out there because he wants to practice. Prince will kind of just bang knees, nothing long-term, but just they'll hold him tonight. Jarrett, and then Lutoski re-injured a calf that he's had all summer, so he'll probably be a little bit more long-term. He'll probably be like 2 to 3 weeks. So we expect to have him back for the first game, but he won't be out there tonight. I'm sorry. No.
With the quarterback position, with people watching tonight, they're going to probably be analyzing everything. What message do you have for folks that are going to watch the practice tonight, try to maybe nitpick and make generalizations based on what they see?
Have fun, do that. That's why we opened it up, right? Do all that. That's part of the quarterback position, and I think the more our guys embrace that, the better they're going to be. That being said, to your point, it's every day can't be a great day. There's some good days or some bad days. Sometimes you drop back to throw it and the receiver runs the wrong route, and you have to scramble around. But I feel pretty good about where that whole position's headed, the growth they're making, the separation as they kind of make separation with each other. And I truly believe it'll take 2, maybe 3 guys to get through the season, just based on history, not based on our guys. So I keep encouraging all our staff to coach everybody. I'll say this to you guys. I think there's guys that you'll see tonight that you might not even recognize their number. You'll be like, "Look, who is that?" Because sometimes I have to do that as I'm watching the tape because there's 3 number 47s or 3 number 30, whatever, that by the end of the year will be helping us. And so it's important that we evaluate every player. But the quarterbacks, that's what everyone's going to be here to see. And hopefully they play well tonight just because it's a practice.
Just a follow-up on Latowski. How do you feel about that interior group? I know some of the veterans are talking Justin Evans has really impressed them. I mean, how do you feel about sort of that?
Yeah, Justin Evans played well enough last year to win, so I know he's a starter for us. Mike is having a really good camp, which is great, I've been very blunt about Mike, and I like where his head's at and I like where his practice is at. So Mike is having a good camp. Tyler Knox having a good camp, and many more. So one thing about the O-line, we got some bullets in the holster, so hopefully Henry gets back because he's a big part of that group. But we have a lot of other guys we can move around and put them in there.
Holding Tommy out, in addition to the load management, does it give you a chance to look at more guys? You have a lot of experience there behind him in the corner. How is Sire right, and then what are you seeing from the young guys?
Yeah, you go to one-on-ones, Mitch, and they all can cover. That's the good news. Like I'm watching Amari Sanders. I'm watching Larry Tarver, and I'm like, man, we got some guys. It's just about, can you mentally day in and day out handle the rigors, handle the amount of stuff that we do. So that I can't answer that yet, right? Are they ready to play? But from a talent standpoint, they're unbelievably talented. As I say to our players, skill beats talent. You're big, fast, run, explosive. That's awesome. Now you have to develop skill. But they can cover. Can they handle all the other stuff? I think they can, and I have a lot of confidence in them. Throw Jeremiah Charles in that mix, all those young guys, they're all going to be ready to play. And then we're moving a lot of guys around, like Rio Buford's a guy who's good in the spring, good in the summer, so he'll play some corner, some nickel. Marquise Buford, no, Marquise is out too, right, tonight? Yeah, Marquise is out tonight. Marquise banged knees yesterday in practice, so he's got a little, him and Prince will have bone bruises, that should hold him for a day or two, but Keese has been playing corner and safety. Malcolm's been playing corner and safety, so, that field, as I told you guys, that field safety is kind of like a nickel, so they do both.
Anything else?
All right, thanks, guys.